You ready?
I'm ready.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and officially call to order the September 20th, 2024 Nominating Committee meeting. We don't do a roll call, do we?
No.
Okay, very good. So do we have any public comment?
No.
So we're going to go ahead and, well, first of all, welcome. How is everyone here today? We're going to go ahead and move to our action items, which is the PSTA committee appointments. You all should have that in front of you. Has everyone had the opportunity to review their appointments or have any comments, additions, changes, corrections?
Would you like me to kind of go through it?
Sure.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. So the process typically for appointing a committee appointment is Rachel sends a survey out to the the existing board members and gets their interest. Usually, I think, including this time, they all said if they're on a committee, they like to stay on that committee. So in the first column, Commissioner Tom Reed said he would be interested in serving on the executive committee. So that's his name in red there. Right now, there's only 4 positions there. So,
Was he the only one that?
yeah, he was the only one.
Okay.
Okay, so then the Finance and Planning Committee, which you know, they meet the Wednesday typically before the SDA board meeting. They they meet back to back, 9 o'clock and 10:30. The good news is Robert Walker from Dunedin and Chris Johnson from Largo, city commissioners, they both told me that they are open to serving on anything that we need their assistance. Great. That is very positive. Although Chris Johnson from Largo told Rachel that he has some kind of standing meeting or conflict on the Wednesday, so he's not sure if he can really attend the finance committee.
He said he would miss several meetings if he was put on.
Okay,
finance.
so, yeah, so that's why I stuck
So,
Robert Walker in there.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So I got on the nominating committee this year because I was chair and I knew I couldn't have the time to commit to other committees. So next year I'm not, and I see Brian's on nominating, which makes sense because he won't have the time.
Right, that's what
You know,
he told me.
The chair has to be on canvassing, so like this year's even worse because the canvassing board you're required to be there, and so I'm gonna miss the next meeting, and you know, it's,
Yeah.
so he doesn't have as many elections, so it won't be as bad for him, but I'd be willing to go on either finance, you know.
Or planning.
If you need if you've got somebody that is on 2 and you need, to fill in, I'd be willing to switch and take his spot that was on finance. I'm not a big numbers person, but, planning is probably better for me,
Planning?
but.
Okay.
But, I don't know if you need that many for nominating, but, I know next year I won't be as busy as I was this year, so I'd be willing to do, any legislative is a good fit, finance, planning, any one of them. I don't know when
Yeah.
they meet, but.
Well, and finance isn't really a numbers committee, it's reviewing the contracts and that's probably something that you're
Yeah,
doing regularly anyway as a county commissioner. And
okay.
Yeah. The two other sort of observations I would provide is that it seems every of our new board members and Commissioner Johnson, Mr. Robert Walker, they all want to be on the legislative committee. Everybody seems to be really interested in legislative.
Well, as long
committee.
as they're interested, then they're gonna show up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's fine, let them learn it, it's,
Yeah.
And I've been out of the legislature long enough that I don't have the relationships I had. Chris Valor does, but a lot of them have left. So, but instead of maybe having Max McCann on 4 committees, I know he's, very excited.
One.
He's on
But he has
3.
time.
He has
Mhm.
3.
Yeah.
Well, you got him on 4.
One.
You got him here, and here, and here. and
He's
here.
on
Okay,
3.
wow.
He's in 3 or 4.
He's on 4.
Okay, so you have a different sheet than I have.
Yeah, I only have him on 3.
Okay.
So
We'll see.
we have Chris Johnson versus Max McCann. So this one's,
There was one printed out.
Yeah, so the
Here's
screen-
another one right there.
I must.
Is the screen wrong?
sorry, yeah, the screen that's up there is right. So that's, so we were both right.
One.
Yeah, this is correct. Here, we'll take this
So
one.
that was-
Yeah, so you were looking at a different one.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
on 3.
He's on
Get
3.
it together.
And so the school safety meeting meets 3 times, potentially a year.
Yeah.
It's
And
part, it's a
that's
forward
fine. I mean,
Pinellas
if
one, so
he's
it's,
got time and he's that excited.
He
but
said he was interested in that one.
My big
Yeah.
thing is trying to get every board member more invested.
Right.
You know what I mean? So instead of, like, you've always done 4, these other people wouldn't,
Yeah.
do it. And, I'm thrilled to see Dave Eggers finally said he would do something, that made me happy. So, yeah, I think if I switched and took finance, where Brian had finance, I'd be okay with that.
I don't see Brian with finance.
He was.
He was, if you look,
Previous.
But he has the TDC.
but he moved off of finance because of the TDC.
So-
Oh, I see.
Now, are
we
you going to be
have-
on the TDC?
No, only I'm as chair, and then I made it so vice chair, because if you've never been chair before, it takes you 5 months, 4 months to acclimate, so I made a change so the vice chair would be on TDC, and that's why.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so no,
think-
I won't be on
Yeah, I
TDC.
think the recommendations that we have for
Oh, this is completely different than I was looking at.
finance is fine. I think planning, I know, Commissioner, you said you wanted to be on planning, that would be great. Then we can take, well, I like the fact that Max and Barbara are on.
It's gonna get them to learn
Yeah, that's why I
Right.
said I'm glad that
And
they're
my-
on
it. I really love the fact that she's gonna get factual information now.
That's weird.
I think
Yeah.
that'll be,
Did Dan move down to alternate in finance because of the potential, doesn't he has a conflict potentially now?
Yes, that's what he said at the board meeting on Wednesday, that he also is appointed to the Tourist Development Council.
Okay.
he is, yeah.
Yeah, so he was looking at the tentative schedule, and he thinks he can make it to like about half of them. So that he said that he would like to be moved down to alternate.
Okay.
Well, then, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, except as an alternate, if the conflict is when he's needed as an alternate, then it doesn't help as an alternate.
Well, true. He just said he really likes being on there, and he's.
I would say that, every
What
committee
time
member
do they
can
meet?
show up at any meeting,
What time does he meet?
9
o'clock on
9
Wednesday, the
Wednesday.
third Wednesday,
Oh, well, the TDC doesn't.
9 to 10:30.
It seemed like it
oh, they
rotated,
don't.
and like
It's
he
not-
could make
no,
some of
they
them.
meet at 9 o'clock. They meet at 9 o'clock, but it isn't a consistent Wednesday. It
Yeah.
seems to jump around a bit. So,
I mean, I'm fine with Dan wherever he was, I'm just thinking of, if he's gonna be an alternate and he's needed at a time he also can't do it, then it's.
well,
True.
I'll tell you what, if it turns out he can't do it, I'll switch over.
Okay. we'll just-
Oh, can you have 2 alternates listed? No?
No,
Okay.
it's just that if he decides it's too much, then, you guys know nominating committee, well, you won't be here, you're on the nominating committee? And Brad knows that if he can't make it, then I'd be happy to switch on over.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
if he decides there's a.
so I have not had any specific conversations with Barbara Hazelton or Max McCann about their committees. So what my thought was to talk to them.
Have they not responded, this is just a thought, they haven't responded to?
Well,
Max said he was
Barbara was on
interested.
last night, so-
Max said he was open.
Okay.
In an email to Rachel, right? Yeah.
I can
Okay.
tell you Barbara's
I
been
have
on
not
both of
heard,
those.
I mean. she
And that's fine, I just wanted to make sure
I
that-
just found out this morning, so I have not talked with her.
Understood.
So-
I'm sure she's gonna want both of those, and she doesn't have a daytime job, so.
Well, and that's what I was, the comments were actually thinking more about
So
Max.
can we
when you-
do this, can we present it as is, talk to Mr. Saraki and see if he has a huge conflict, that he thinks will be a huge conflict, and then if that's the case, we can move Commissioner Peters into, because
The
I don't want
alternates.
to make a decision for
Yeah.
him. So that would be my recommendation, to present it as is, if he doesn't think he's gonna be available, because Mr. Sherman not gonna be here. So, yeah, otherwise I put him right there.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have him in there, but, yeah, so let's check with Mr. Saraki, if you would, please. And if that seems to be an issue for him, because he's not here to tell us yea or nay, then we can go ahead and add Commissioner Peters.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
and this may change
Okay.
in January anyways, but in the meantime,
Plus, Dan acted like the TDC meeting schedule for next year hadn't been posted yet, so he
Oh, it
wasn't
hasn't
even
been posted
sure. He wasn't sure how many.
yeah, it
So
hasn't
this-
been posted yet. And like the one this month, we canceled.
That's why he came to the committee,
Yeah.
finance committee. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's.
So, and you know, I hate the fact that, since I'm not gonna be here, I hate, like, you know, trying to decide other people's fates, but Dan is then on 4 committees, you know, 3 and 1 alternate.
Is he?
Yep,
He's the chair of the legislative committee and,
he's on the
Oh, that's what
executive,
he loves.
executive, legislative.
Oh, and he's on
Forward
forward.
Pinellas, representative, and then now also
Oh.
finance. So again, if you're trying to find a spot like off of legislative, or wherever.
Well, I'm not on
Oh,
legislative.
Oh, you don't.
The
wanna
only
be on
place you
that?
have me is nominating.
because I'm also looking at Adrian Petrilla and wondering where the mayor can fit in, because he's not on anything.
Has he agreed to be on anything?
no, he doesn't really
He
want to
doesn't-
be.
That was my.
That's why I put him as an alternate to planning.
Okay, well then never mind that.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of crap going on in his city, but,
And Mr.
I hadn't heard.
And Chris Johnson said, I'll fill in where needed, so he's on the nominating, he's on legislative. Are we just trying to find someone for Commissioner Peters to?
no, he's just mentioning that Danny's on 4 committees.
Well, and I honestly, I thought Adrian Petrilla was trying to get on a committee, so I was trying to make sure we're finding a spot for all of these folks.
Oh.
So that's, if that's not the case, then it doesn't matter. I don't think it makes a difference, and the way it's presented, I think is fine, assuming Dan's okay with, being in the alternate spot and not feeling like he might not actually be able to make it.
And the thing about the finance and planning, which is just kind of nice, is that they're on the same day, so it's
Oh, yeah, that's, and
trend.
they're back to back.
They're back to back,
Yeah.
so people just stay.
I still think any of the new board members should at least go to a few finance and planning committee meetings.
I agree,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's where you learn about all the stuff that's in the consent
Right.
agenda.
It's the quick way to learn. It's a real quick way to learn.
And the planning, oddly enough, is the more financial one, because it deals with a lot of
The
our-
budget.
the budgeting
Yeah,
assumptions and
it
things
does.
like that looking forward, so
Okay.
it's weird.
All right, so we're there, outside board appointments.
Well,
So you want to, well, the way the agenda is the committee appointments, then the outside board.
get a motion.
So you need a motion, so I move that we present the slate as is.
Thank you. So
With the possibility of
a change for.
Commissioner
the
Peters
finance.
as an alternate to finance committee instead of Saraki.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry, there are 2 names under planning.
Yeah.
We only need 1.
Oh. well,
So-
Try Mayor Petrilla?
Well, why don't we try Mayor Petrilla?
Yeah, for sure, yeah, for sure.
And if he doesn't show, then we can, and like I said,
Won't
we're gonna
actually be
have
here
to come,
anyway.
we're gonna have to come back in January anyways.
Right.
We're gonna have to come back, right, Rach, before,
For the officers.
yes, unless you wanna do that right now, but I mean,
I,
Well, come January, there's gonna be, I know in the county, there may be different
And there may be
assignments.
different assignments in the city council.
And there may be different
Oh.
assignments on the city council.
Yeah.
So in January,
Okay.
we know we're gonna have some people that aren't.
yeah, we did that last year, actually, didn't we? I think we actually met in
So
January
I think you
also.
ought to just schedule a meeting in January
But there were no
knowing.
elections or anything going on last year either, so it was easy
True.
to do it. last
Yeah.
year with more certainty. Okay, so it's been motioned, to accept the PSTA Board Committee assignments as presented with the possible exception of a change in finance. All in favor?
Do we have a
we
second?
didn't, yeah,
Oh, we
I
got a
didn't hear the
second.
first.
I made the motion.
You made the motion, I'll make the second.
You made the second, and all in
yes.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed? See, it depends on what committees I'm in. Most of the committees I'm in, we don't require a second. So it's like,
Okay.
we don't require a second. All right, so. 3B.
The outside, the PSA board actually voted to meet the MPO's deadline of October 7th, already on Dan Saraki being the Ford Pinellas appointee, and Max McCann was interested in the school safety.
The School Transportation Safety Committee.
Yeah, which you said meets 3 times about?
This year met twice, but
Yeah. We already voted for Danny last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's only Max, right? So I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, that's another
He's
action item.
enthusiastic.
As
So
our
I
current
move
member, you think
so I
he's-
move approval that, for Max to take over the school
I'll
safety.
second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That was wonderful. Do we have any other business?
You can have your thing back. Thank you.
Seeing none? We're adjourned.
All right.
And I'm out.
You're officially out.
Yay.
Well, again, thank you.
Thank you.
No
Thank
thanks
you.
needed.